Hey everyone, I'm recording this video to introduce a different tool that might be useful for you in your content analyses. I would have planned to do this in class, but I don't think I'd be able to download the tool on the computer in the classroom, and so I thought I'd just record this video, and that would make it more accessible to if some folks can't be in class today. So the tool is called Lancsbox. The name comes from the fact that it was developed at Lancaster University in the UK, and it might remind you a little bit of AntConc. You can use it for some of the same kinds of things. You can look at, it's a concordancing tool, which means you can load a bunch of text files into it and search for terms and see them in context like we've done in AntConc. There are a bunch of other tools as well that I won't get into. Most of them are a little bit more kind of hardcore linguistics focused, but I do want to show this to you because in our discussions on passive voice, this tool makes finding passives really simple. So I'm going to demonstrate that. The first thing we need to do is load our files into the tool, and we do that up here. So I'm going to go under Load Data, and I'm going to load a corpus into it, and that pulls up a little tab here. Now I have a couple of files. Let's see where I saved them. So I've thought it would be interesting to look at maybe the use of passive voice in two very different news articles, or two articles written from very different news sources. So as many of you know, the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse has been in the news lately, and so I've taken an article that was published on Fox News and one that was published in the New York Times, and I've just copied and pasted them into BBEdit, or any text editor would work, and I've saved them as a .txt file. So you can see I'm loading these into the corpus now. I'll choose these, and then I need to click import. And it takes just a second to do that because it processes the text, and I'll show you in just a minute what I mean. But first, let me show you what these look like. Let me show you what these look like before being processed. So here we have the Fox News article. I just again copied and pasted the text right out of the website, and avoided trying to get any like things that weren't part of the text in there. We'll make this a little bit bigger so that you can see, but it's just a very standard text file. Each paragraph is on its own line, and very simple. Same thing with the New York Times. Each paragraph is on its own line. I just copied and pasted it in, and it's just what you would read if you were reading these articles on the internet. I can see these articles if I come over to the text tab in Lancsbox. It shows me what the text files look like, and I can search in the text files if I want. But what's cool here is if I, click on this display menu, it pulls up this option to change the display. And if I select text with POS, POS stands for part of speech, and I click apply, now this text looks a lot different. It's a lot harder to read for a human because each word, when we loaded the text into the tool, it went through and it applied a part of speech tag to each word in the text files. So it's okay if you don't know what these mean, but we can see, like here we have the word he with an underscore and then a PP, that stands for personal pronoun. Believes with an underscore, VVZ, that stands for third person conjugation of a verb. We have the with an underscore and DT, that DT stands for determiner. So while it does all of this automatically, and that's really cool, what this lets you do is much more powerful searches. So now that I have my corpora loaded into the tool, I can go to the quick portion of Lancsbox, which remember means keyword in context, and check this out. If I just type in the word passive in all capitals, it has what they call smart searches. So it will look for passive constructions in both of these text files and show them to me right here. Now, you can see what the actual search term is over here on the far left of the screen, and if I can get it to stay so that we can actually look, I want to talk a little bit about where this search comes from. Okay, there we go. So it's hard to see, but it's in that little yellow box. So, oh no. Okay, so we have an underscore with a slash and a VB and a dot, followed by an R with a dot and an asterisk, and then 0 to 3 and curly braces, followed by a V dot N. So what this means basically is we're looking for any form of the verb be. That's what VB means. Oof, sorry about this. And then it allows for adverbs. That's what the R stands for. Either 0, 1, 2, or 3 adverbs to follow that form of the verb be. Those are optional, hence we can have 0 or up to 3. And then it looks for any past participle form of a verb. So it matches that grammatical pattern that we talked about and that you know now indicates passive voice. And it also allows some flexibility in there in case there are some words put in between the form of the verb be and the past participle. And we can see a couple examples there. So was legally entitled, is politically motivated. Here's where we have 3 words. Was probably more people armed. There was probably more people armed. So we have some interesting examples there. So I hope this helps. This tool is not perfect. In fact, this last example here does have a passive construction in the clause, but I wouldn't call what it's highlighted the passive clause. We have a dummy subject in this sentence, the word there, and then we have the word was, which is our main verb. There was something. And the something here is more people armed with weapons. Now, people armed with weapons, this is getting into the grammatical weeds here, but here we have what we would probably call a reduced relative clause that would be in the passive. So we could add in a relative pronoun and a form of the verb be to expand this. We could say people who were armed with weapons, but again, that's getting very picky. This tool is helpful, but like I said, it's not totally perfect. So if you find it useful, it's free to download. You can just Google download Lanxbox. It's available on Windows and Macs, Linux. A lot of flexibility there, and it could be something that could help you in your content analysis of your own writing. Thanks, everybody.